Hello and welcome to this episode of Sticky Note Marketing. I'm your host, Mary Zarnecki, and I am thrilled today to introduce you to Heather Greco. So our guest expert today is Heather. She is a efficiency expert and is a busy mom of three and founder of Chaos and Cookies. She's keeping moms from crumbling. So after gaining 10 years as marketing experience as a director of marketing, helping build multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses for other women, Heather has created Chaos Control Systems. We're going to be talking about that in detail today. And that equips moms to overcome their own objections so that they can live the life they want to live and start the business they've always wanted. So welcome, Heather, to the show. Excited to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary, for having me. Excited to be on the podcast.
Definitely. Well, I cannot wait to hear more about this chaos control system because, as my listeners know, I have a little bit of chaos in my life. I've got two boys. I've got an 8- and 10-year-old new business and also an entrepreneurial husband running a restaurant. So
Wow.
I think I'm probably solidly in your target market there. But
Oh, yeah.
tell the team a little bit about what inspired you to create Chaos and Cookies. How did it come to life for you?
So I can totally empathize with you with the ages. I've got a 9, 7, almost 8, and 5, almost 6-year-old. So I totally understand that whole age group. So Chaos and Cookies came about because I was starting my own business. I have a sales and marketing background, and I have an exercise science and sports studies degree from college. And so I was dabbling in I was in like legal sales and all that. And so I was writing a non-compete out, and I needed an opportunity or some sort of thing to start a new business because I couldn't work in the legal industry. My kids father didn't really want me to work. And so I ended up falling into the health and wellness business with a virtual health program. And when I was helping these women with weight loss and counting macros, I noticed that there was a really big gap in like finding time to do all the things. Like they wanted to make the changes, they could see that they could, but finding the time to make that switch. And so I was like, well, let's try and eliminate that whole scenario and created Chaos and Cookies because it is very chaotic in my home. Cookies because no matter how much you clean as a mom, you would know it's like there's crumbs still somewhere. And so I created the Chaos Control System to be a little bit of two things. One, to gather information, to either bring in some help to free up that person without having to, data dump every single time. Because how many lists do we make in a day? And then what we throw them away, date night, make a list for the sitter, mother-in-law, whatever, throw it away, do it all over again, right? And so being able to not recreate the wheel each time. And on the other end of things, I created the business because I was trying to exit my marriage without being, caught, so to speak. And so I wanted to create some empowerment tools as well for me to collect information in order for me to eliminate the excuses of maybe that's why I was staying and get all the information like financial and such, and really prepare myself to bring in some more help that I don't have to stress more about my process and just be like, here's the book, go do, because I need to go and, focus on making money or creating this other, path for myself. So it was a little bit of both.
No, I love the fact that you talked about how there was a need not only that you saw for other women, but also in your own life. And so really creating something based on and really designed to help a very specific need. As a marketing geek, you have a marketing background. I'm always frustrated when people say, oh, well, I made this because I could, right? Instead of I made this because people really need this. I mean, one of the things that I love on your website that you say is, a home needs a handbook like cookie needs milk, right? I wish my home and my life came with a handbook. So that's what you're providing to people. So tell me a little bit about, how does the chaos control system work? And, what kind of person would be the perfect person to kind of maybe ask some questions about it? What's the kind of person who might need this?
So I say, as moms, just as moms, not even a business owner, just let's just put that to the side for a sec, is we run our homes like a business. Like there's meals to be made, there's schedules to keep, there's bills to be paid, right? So we run a very structured, scenario there. And so in every business, we have an SOP or a standard operating procedure. And just like, a business runs it, there's a way that we run our household that we like. And so whenever someone were to come in and help us, or if, say you're going to have a baby and you need to bring in some help, but you don't want to worry about the other children because you're going to be tired and you're going to be dealing with your newborn. I always say dealing with, but, handling that situation.
Sure. Yeah.
You don't want to have to worry that your 5-year-old isn't going to get to sleep because the sound machine isn't on the right volume, because mom knows all and we keep it all in our heads. And so for someone who says, system, I need one, you just haven't put it on paper. Mm-hmm. And when you put it on paper, you can start to see like what, maybe there's some patterns there, or maybe there's some things that you're like, whoa, that's really extreme, probably don't need that, and really try to simplify, but also give a guide for someone to come in and help. Because as moms, we have a really hard time asking for help. We usually just say like, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it later, because it's easier for us to do it than asking someone and explaining it to them how they do it. And we'll also know that we're going to just get frustrated that they didn't do it our way. Right. And so that's not their fault. All they're trying to do is help, but it's kind of on us that we're not asking for help. And then we complain that we have to do everything. So trying to free mom up in a way to where we feel better about how things would be done if we didn't do it, because we're going to tell you the way we like it, but you have to take the time to put it on paper.
I think that's it's so interesting, because I hear it from the business owners that I work with. They're afraid of hiring a VA or adding to their marketing team or hiring new people because they know how to do it well, right? They know how to do it their way. And so it's similar too. I mean, it is. I love the way that you describe, we run our house like a business in a lot of ways. There's a budget, there's a task that needs to be done, there's activities. And sometimes it is just faster to get it done. So for those people that are saying, oh, well, I don't know, maybe it is just faster if I do it, how do you help them overcome that challenge, that kind of limiting belief, essentially?
So I always say, look at how you're spending your day and your time, and really budget your time and work smarter and not harder. If you see a problem in the house and you are just like, it's just the way it is, but that there might be a solution, let's try to figure out a way to create systems in our homes, just like we have systems in our business, where you do it once and then you just have to maintain it, right? You don't have to redo it. So I like to share like my 3 for busy moms, for instance, like how easy it is to set up a system. And then when you put the system in place, you write it down and you add it to the chaos control system. It's the home edition, I call it. Every single section, it's got medical information. It's got, all the way to what drop off of your child looks like at a specific activity, behaviors to look for. Just because, having help, my ex-husband used to travel all the time. So I always was I had helper. And sometimes a new person would come in and they would be like, well, she didn't want to participate and she said XYZ and I felt bad and she cried. And I'm like, she just got you. And I look over and my daughter's kind of like, and it's like, these are the behaviors that now you know what to expect. And let's just say like, this is what you need to do. And this is what we're expecting. And so if you write the expectations down, that person might not get duped, and you won't have to hear they didn't go to karate because they said they didn't, mom says they can't, when you could put it all down, right? All those excuses, when you know how your child behaves and you know what kind of things they're going to try to pull. So it's very handy where you can give the person the section or give the person the book and be like, check page 5. And they can open it and be more self-sufficient. You keep it in the kitchen. It's digital, so you can edit the information so you don't have to reprint the whole planner. That's the issue with like just having a planner, right? It's every calendar year. And then what you have to do, you got to get a whole new one the next year. This is, most information doesn't change when it comes to at least the permanent fixtures in your house. And then the little things that change, you can just go in digitally, change it, print out the page, replace it in the binder, right? So trying to make it easy. Medical, probably your doctor doesn't change very often. Don't need to worry about that. You know what I mean? So just creating systems and things. So I have what I call the 3 C's to a really good start on how to start implementing something now and then working off of it. Because when you get this system that I have, it's 181 pages. It's a lot of pages. You might not have a pet, so you probably don't need the pet section, but it gets very overwhelming because you have a tool. And then what's worse is like when you buy a tool or you buy a program for your business and then you don't end up using it. It's purpose. Like you get it, and you're like, wow, this idea. And then you get it, you're like, nope. I'm going to do this tomorrow. And then the next day it pushes off. And then you just spent your money on something that sounded like a great idea, is a great idea, but you were like, I am not prepared to take this right now, you know? So I say the 3 C's is for cooking, clothing, and clutter. And you start there. And it helps me tremendously with my 3 kids because I'm a single parent. My gosh, like they will just, I'm sure you got a 10 and 8-year-old. They pretend they can't do things when you know you can, but when they really, really want to, they can. So, you know, creating a space where they can get a little bit more self-sufficient as well. So I have like those hanging closet cubes. And I get 5, it's got 5 little spaces Monday through Friday, every Sunday. Or if I have my nanny, if I do have one working for me at the time, by Friday before she leaves, I make sure it's set for the next week.
Nice.
Put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday clothes in those cubes with socks, with the dollar they might need to go to 3rd grade, whatever.
Pizza lunch or whatever,
lunch, or like if it's like snack day and they get to bring $1, whatever it is, you look at your schedule ahead of time because moms are mainly planners, and you put the 5 days in there. So then they're set, forget, done. So then, you know, I'm sure you've got kids that come out, you're in Oregon, right? So it's cold, but how many times has your 8-year-old probably come out in a tank top?
Oh yeah.
You're like,
8-year-old's the one that will go out in shorts in the snow.
Right? I feel terrible because my car's in the garage and I'll get in and I'm like, it's way warmer in here than it really is outside. And now you're in shorts and t-shirt, no jacket. Oops. Right. And so they come out not dressed. And so you got a battle to tell them to go and change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And we didn't prepare. And then I usually will ask, like, did you grab the clothes out of the cube? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, go in the cube, go get Tuesday. That's for you. But it gives them some guidance where you don't have to go in and dig in. And you just keep that system Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then they know what to do in the morning. They go the day, you can label it. Maybe before bed, if you have younger ones, you can take Tuesday out and put it on their dresser. But it's just a quick system. I do it for myself as well for my workouts. Like if I'm a big set person. I like to match. If I can't find the set, then, can't work out today. So you go and you put the sets in and then your workout gear is ready to go. Grab it the night before, put it by my sink. I don't have to go digging and looking. And it's, takes the excuses away, right?
Oh yeah. I'll use any excuse. Oh, I can't find matching socks. Can't work out. Right?
Sorry. So same thing with kids, right? So that's the clothing hack. And then what you do is you would write that down in your morning routine or section. And then if you have a sitter, or maybe you want to go take a vacation without your kids and someone's going to need to come and watch them. You can put that page out and be like, here, this is what we do. I've already set out the clothes for the week, all they need to do, and you can write it down. So then they know the procedure, because maybe your child doesn't want to communicate it with them, or they don't want to, maybe they're going to be like, well, what do I do about their clothes? It's like, right here, it's already written down, and you've already got the system in place.
Well, I think it's brilliant because not only on if you're doing it, right? If it's like an average day and we're running the show, it saves us time, like you were saying, because it's you're not refiguring out how to do the things you do all the time. And so you're getting time back, which, like you said at the very beginning, so much of us getting shoved to the bottom of the list, right? Oh, I don't have time to do things for myself because I've got all these other things to do. You finally do have the time, right? You're getting that time back for yourself, but you also get the freedom and kind of the kind of calm mind when you're handing your family off to someone else too, because now okay, they're not going to get the wool pulled over their eyes by my 5-year-old.
Right. And they're not going to be texting you because as moms, you get that text message from that sitter or whoever's watching your kids. The first thing that comes to your head is like, oh my God, who's dying? Oh my God, what's wrong? When it's like, hey, where's the milk? It's like, oh my God, I just like had a million different tragedies in my head in about 5 seconds. And you just need to know where the milk is, because it's not where it usually is in the fridge. So we're trying to eliminate the reach outs and the pings because we don't want to get bothered by those types of questions. We want to be contacted when something is really wrong or something that needs our attention. So we're not worried and we don't have to, stress because we're always going to worry about our kids, but we can at least let go of a little bit of that control and know that they are in good hands. I've left them everything that they need to know. And they just need to check that before you text me. Like check the book before you text me. If it's not in the book and you can't find it, then call. And then at least you know that there's some sort of, resource for someone and then just them flying blind and hoping they guess right. Cause not everyone has the same judgment.
This is
I
true.
think they make really smart decisions. And then you're like, why would you do that? Makes no sense.
I know my mom was she laughed. She's a 7th grade teacher for over 40 years. And she always was joking around about the fact that common sense is not so common sometimes.
It's not. And so it's just like, that decision that seemed like the net. Okay, well, I wouldn't have gone with that choice, but you know what? It is what it is, and you learn, and then you say, "Well, I should probably put that in my book next time," and then you add and you tweak, and it's just a resource, just in case. I had a client who came to me after hearing my podcast, and I was friends with her on the health and wellness side of things, and she had no idea about this other side of the business. Her husband had suffered like the widowmaker that summer at like the pool, and he was a fit person, healthy, almost basically just dropped dead at the pool, playing with the family. He luckily survived and all that, but what ended up happening is she was removed from the family and at the hospital for a long time, tending to him while she has little children at home. And all of a sudden she's managing now her business, his business, and the family on top of medical issues. And if she had just had something like the control system in place where there was will information, or even just the name of his bookkeeper and what the bookkeeper handles, so she can just be like, hey, here, I need you to do this. And so she didn't have any of that information. So she was struggling to get all of the pieces, hoping she wasn't going to drop the ball while adding in chaos, because we don't get to control that kind of stuff. It just happens. Sure. You're thinking, she's like, man, I really wish I had something like that. So now she has one in case anything were to happen. Because unfortunately, when chaos or tragedy comes, it's like, oh, we shoulda, coulda, woulda. And it's very difficult to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a necessity because you just can't plan for a car accident or a crazy, weird heart attack. And so having that to where you can also say, I've got a plan, or this is how we run. I've got to go. I just here.
Yeah.
Through it. It's all indexed. There's tabs. It's color coded. If you see purple, it means it's household related. Go. And you just hope that they can handle, and it's there. And then you can at least go and focus on what you need. So it creates a lot of freedom in a lot of different places.
That's so true too. Because I mean, whether it's your partner or whether it's you that gets sick, sometimes, you know, my worst fear is getting sick, because then not only does my business have to be put on hold, but my family a lot of times has to get put on hold. And so having that system that then you can actually get help, get support, have someone step into that role easily, instead of, like you were saying, like your client having to figure it all out. I think that's great.
And
Yeah.
for me personally, I'm redoing my entire one at home because I just finished a brutal divorce. I was actually gaining a lot of information, like financial things I never handled.
Yeah.
I had to collect all the information and give it to lawyers. I've got to collect that information and make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row before I pull the trigger on a divorce, to make sure that I'm going to be able to handle all the things that come with that, especially with my situation. It was a very unpredictable, chaotic situation
Mhm.
that I was trying to get out of. And knowing what I was going to be dealing with, you really have to prepare yourself mentally, financially, physically, to be able to handle that kind of stress. And now I'm in the process of buying my house, selling my home that I shared with him, buying my very first house on my own. And it's a lot that I didn't do because he always handled it. And so as I'm gaining all the information and learning, also gaining all the info of like what, how much of a down payment and what that means, and due dates of like when I need to move and when I need to get insurance, it's all getting written down. So I'm starting fresh and I'm starting a brand new one. My kids are going to move schools. So that means the address is going to change. The whole entire routine of them not going to a private school where I have to drive half an hour each way, I now get to go 30 seconds down the street. It's going to change our entire morning routine when it comes to timing. So I'm going to write that down and I'm going to keep track. And that's going to be our new system.
Mhm.
And so it's a good way to keep it up. So I'm trying to now start chronicling how I'm doing it, like Instagram and Facebook. That way you can do it too, or not feel like there's never a wrong time to start.
Mhm.
And because their school is going to look different and their time's going to look different, I don't have to go and, right now I got to leave at 2:30. I don't get home until like 3:30. When if they get out of school at 2:45 at this new school, I'll be home by 3. So I don't have to allocate as much time in my afternoon next year. So that looks a little bit different. So it's like, okay, now what's going to be our new afternoon routine when they come and do the things. So there's nothing wrong with that. Cooking dinner, that other C I was talking about,
Oh yeah.
how much time we get back, like you said. Think about how much time we spend like going pantry, fridge, pantry, start cooking. Oh, forgot the spice thing, back to the spice cabinet, right? You're just moving a lot. And it's like, gosh, dinner takes so long to make. I'm not making dinner tonight. We're ordering a pizza.
Mhm.
Or the brown diet where you grab like the chicken nuggets out of the freezer and that's what we're having, kids. Cereal tonight. So I suggest, when I do a lot of since I'm single mom, I hate grocery stores. It gives me lots of anxiety. I never really, my ex used to do that, and I would tell him what I need to get and he would do it. And now I'm like, despise grocery store. So I get delivery. I will pay the extra, whatever money. It's fine. Typically they get it right. So as they do it, I have these clear bins, and I'll put the onion and the 1 carrot that I needed. And, because that's the worst when you open it up and you've got the things rolling around the
Oh
drawer.
yeah, yeah.
What did I get this onion for? And you put it in the bins and you pre-package your meals that you're going to make. Because maybe you don't like to meal prep. It's not for everybody.
Mhm.
You have all intention to, but then you don't. Then your chicken goes bad,
Yeah.
So take 2 chicken and do XYZ, right? And so then when it's time, and I'm talking every utensil, the spatula, if the spices are fridge friendly, put them in there. And all you have to do is, when you go to okay, it's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, time to cook. You pull the bin out with the meat and the cheese and the lettuce and all the things. It's in that one bin. You take it out, you put it on your counter, and you go.
Awesome.
You're not looking for everything.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like prepackaged meals that you get like HelloFresh and stuff, but
Mhm.
you're making it yourself. You're saving money, time, and effort. And now you're eliminating, like, I don't know what I'm going to make for dinner. Well, it's all right here. And then your kids know not to touch it because it's in the designated bin. Like, don't touch those apples. Like, don't eat them. That was for dinner, you know? So it
Oh yeah, that
designates.
happened to us actually last night. I was going to make pork with apples and I didn't realize I had taken all the apples to school and I didn't have the ingredient for the recipe, right? So
You didn't allocate correctly. And so you had to just do just pork. And you're just like, well, and or you just maybe you're in a mindset where like, I can't make that abandoned ship. I don't have anything else. And now we're calling for Chinese. You know, it's
or I'm wasting time looking up a new recipe, like you're saying, and then you're burning that time.
right. So just trying to prep early and know, and it's also a good system to put in play. And it also helps maybe create your menu. There's a grocery section in there as well, like which aisle you can find the stuff. So if you need to send someone to the grocery store to find a specific brand, the brand is in there. The name of it, why, maybe it's your kit, like staples that you always keep in your house. There's a whole staples list where I always have onion and the mirepoix.
Oh yeah.
Always have orzo because I'll just slap a quick, I call it pasta soup together. If all else fails, I at least know I have those ingredients in my house all the time where I can make something fresh and I don't feel so bad. Like, microwave, like frozen dishes. Because then the mom guilt, comes on in, but you keep those staples. And then also whoever comes in to help you will know that as well. So even what aisle, maybe your kid, like one of my kids doesn't eat cheese. Mm-hmm. He's not my kid. I don't know whose kid it is. I mean, I know I birthed him, but I don't think he's mine. But like, you don't eat cheese. So, he'll do X, or maybe there's a certain type of cheese or macaroni and cheese. Like some people just will eat the box brand, mm-hmm. but some will do generic. One of my kids just likes the generic. He will not eat the craft. So you put that in there so people know in case of emergency. I know it sounds silly and it's like, oh, when will that ever happen? But you'll be surprised. Then you're going to be like, well, did my kid eat lunch today? Oh yeah, we had mac and cheese. And you're like, oh, did my kid eat it? And he's like, well, no, we don't really know why. If it's in there, it gives the option. Mm-hmm.
No, that's amazing. Well, I hope everyone has definitely been filling up their sticky notes today because you've been giving some amazing hacks between the clothes and the cooking. So I would love to make sure that everyone knows where to find you. Where's the best person or the best place if someone has questions or wants to follow up with you or something you said today triggered something and they'd love to connect with you? What's the best place to find you online?
So I am on Instagram. I'm at Chaos and Cookies. It's got just the N on there. And then I also on Facebook, same name. And then you can find me at the Heather Greco. And then I have a podcast that I share a lot of tips, tricks. I've got a lot of authors on there as well for books. And maybe you're trying to, for kids of all ages, but that's the Chaos and Cookies podcast. So please reach out anytime. I love it. And you can find out what that third C is if you pick up a copy of the book, No Problem Parenting. I wrote a chapter with the 3 C's in there. So
fantastic. And we'll make sure to include all those links with this episode. So make sure to check out the show notes, whether you're watching or listening to this episode. So thank you so much, Heather, for sharing your hacks and your system with us today. I know there are a lot of moms listening today that have gotten a lot, and I'm sure are going to have more questions for you. So thank you for sharing your advice with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate it. Hopefully it helped.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you all for listening and stay tuned for the next in our series of guest expert interviews here on Sticky Note Marketing.